Oh my goodness. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I just figured I'd hop on real quick. I don't know who we got out there in California. Yeah, I would see they be flagging people. Yeah. Yeah, there's an 8.7 earthquake in Russia. And let me see if I can find a picture because that tends to not get flagged so much. Yeah, that tends to not get flagged so much. But if you look up, let me see here, because I'm trying to keep, because YouTube like to flag people stuff, even if you don't have the audio playing, they'll still flag it. Um, but yeah, they had a 8.7 earthquake over here in Russia, and they're claiming, as you can see here, I don't know how to make this bigger, but as you can see, they're talking about tsunami all the way down into California. Not sure how hard it's going to hit. I haven't found that out, but I will say this here. Gotcha, my man. He's on his way to his 9:30 closing. He's out there. He said he's more inland, but I would say I just want to encourage y'all to, you know, pray for these folk, pray for this whole situation. And one of the things that I know that you may be able to do is to help your fellow notary out, um, if they're still able to do closings, because their closings is, the where they need to meet at is not affected, but they might need to print, have them, allow them to print for you, help them to print, print for them, have them come over to your house and print, help them still conduct business and do business out there. Hopefully, if they still have their equipment, at least their notary stamp and their bag and the basic stuff. Be willing to help them out in that way. Not sure. Heck, in my mind, the way I'm thinking, if we got to set up a notary support center for them, a way, like some spot where they can go and possibly meet, pull some money together, and rent a venue out so that the notary work can still get done. So this would be a perfect time, not a time to go out there and scam people and to sit up there and upcharge people, unjustifiably and stuff like that. Price gouge, that's the word I was looking for. This ain't the time to do that. This is a time to help out the community. So not sure how bad this is going to be. They're talking about it hitting probably around 1 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, which would be 4 hour time. So I strongly encourage y'all to, keep them in prayer and offer words of encouragement to them. If you know anybody, just you ain't got a phone call them, just at least shoot them a text, let them know you're praying for them, let them know you're there for them, all of that, and everything. So it's I take these kind of things serious because I grew up in Florida, so we got the hurricanes and things of that nature. So I take this stuff serious. I've been in an earthquake when I was in Japan, when I was in the Navy, and it was no joke. It was a mild one. I don't even know the what it was on a Richter scale, but it wasn't fun. It was not fun whatsoever. That was the scariest thing in my. I was like, whoa, and it was shaking me side to side, up, down, front and back, all at the same time. And at least me, I had no way to like ground myself to like, okay, let me stop. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stop my body from doing what the earthquake wanted it to do. I was sitting down, which was good. Um, Okay. And I'm checking on a good buddy of mine. She's out there in California, so um, see that alone makes me not want to go to sleep tonight because I'm worried about her. She's a good family friend and everything. Her and her mom and her brother, and a whole bunch of people are out that way. So if you're out there, think about some things that you could possibly do to help them out. Um, if they happen to have some orders, shoot, do the orders for them. If they can't do it, if they're too traumatized to do it, if it depends on how bad it gets. If it's not bad, then cool. But maybe you go and do the order with them and split the money, or just give them the whole thing just to help them out, or something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? But at minimum, help them be in a position to where they possibly can go out there and do the orders. This would be a good time, to step up and really help. So I'm just trying to, in my mind, just get ahead of this because from what I've seen, they think, this is pretty serious. Hopefully, the waves will dissipate to where it's not that bad, but who knows? And one of the biggest problems that we have in this world, in my opinion, is that we just not prepared mentally for stuff to happen. And then when it does happen, it's like, oh, people worried that they're not going to be able to party and go out there and do stuff. But sometimes, Stephanie Russo, all right. Sometimes it's just, best to just be prepared. And I just figured I just share this, my thoughts, because this is what I would do if it happened on the East Coast, and I'm more inland. I'm not that far from the beach, so I would be affected to some degree. Um, you know, that's what I would want. That's what I would want done. And everything. And that's just me. I guess from former military, always thinking about contingency plans, what to do if this happened, and then if you're trying to do that and that don't work, then what else can you do? Um, and then at some points, it's just like there ain't nothing you can do. You just got to roll with it. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. With the weather we have here, sometimes I already think I'm like, okay, if we had to evacuate, I'm bringing my babies with me. I'm bringing my, it's like, okay, let me bring my gear, this, that, and the other. That's my thought process. Um, bring enough clothes, but you know, bring at least one and my paper, and just be ready. My folders, all of that kind of stuff, and everything. So, yeah. So apparently, there's an 8.1, I mean 8.7 earthquake that happened in Russia. Um, so if I was you, I'd just take a look um and see what's going on out there, see what they're talking about. I know Fox is talking about it, CNN, I think is talking about most definitely the Weather Channel and all the other ones. But hey, how you doing there? Stand low, but please be safe. And if you are in a safe area, maybe you can help out other notaries with getting orders done and all of that kind of good stuff. So just think about ways of helping them out, not just in the GoFundMe aspect of it, which of course they may need that charger, but they just may need help. Maybe the notaries get together out there and logistically can maybe use a church or rec center or some place. Maybe somebody got a house, got a nice size garage, set up some laptops and computers, and that way notaries can still go out there and work. You know, it might be good for them just to get their mind off of it. But I'm praying sincerely that it's just a trunk or not, you know. And me, I'm one of those guys who look at all the historical things on tsunamis. I look at movies about tsunamis and earthquakes and things of that nature, volcanoes. That stuff fascinates me. So I look at those things. just to gain a better understanding of what could potentially happen if something erupted. What would happen if Yellowstone erupted? Things of that nature. Heck, and just so y'all can understand where I live at, let me show y'all something here. You know, where I live at here in the Virginia Beach area, I happened to notice something one day, and it sort of made me concerned. It made me highly concerned. Let me just show y'all what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is Virginia Beach. All right. So when you look at this, you're like, okay, nice little piece of land mass. But down here, we have this here was created by hurricanes a long time ago. And there are people who travel up in here. So they come up down here and they carry boats all the way up into here. Well, when you get right here, if you follow this here goes all the way up into the Elizabeth River, which goes into the James River and into the Chesapeake Bay. But if you look at this real closely, this is cutting through Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, and Norfolk, where this piece of land is not touching that piece of land. Yeah. And all of this is eroded over the years because of the storms. And when I looked, I'm like, wait a minute. And there's all kind of bridges here. I'm like, this ain't touching that. I was like, wait a minute now. That is not good. So we are not necessarily in the most pristine area, and I'm living right here. So I'm not that far from the ocean front. So if the water hits, I got to be ready to rock and roll. So I'm always thinking of contingency plans. Which way do I go? And the only optimal way for us to go is west to get down into Suffolk. But Suffolk got some water stuff around them to deal with. It's just to keep going west all the way out toward Emporia or go up into here. But then you got all of this here. So depending on how bad, all of this can flood. So yeah. So that's just how my mind works. I'm always thinking about contingency plans, how to, do this, do that, and everything. So hopefully everything is good, and all of that. So we're gonna be all right. I'm praying that they'll be all right. Whatever we can do to help out our notary film friends, that's what we're going to do. We're going to step our game up. But I pray that there's nothing major going to happen. But if it does, we need to be there for them and support them in any way, shape, or form. So does anybody have any kind of questions or anything at all? Any kind of questions or concerns? Heck, even about the notary business or just in general, just want to ask me some questions. Um, I got 3 closings tomorrow. Today was a decent day. I ended up picking up. I ended up with 5 closings today. What's that? One, two, three, four. Yeah, I ended up with 5. So these last couple of days have been really, really busy. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I started this week off only being booked for 5 appointments, and now I got 15. So I've had 10 appointments come in since yesterday, between today and yesterday, that just flooded in for me. So I'm ecstatic about that. Helped me to finish out really, really, really strong. So what you got? What's your notary questions? Go for it. Let's talk about it, and I'll do everything I can to answer your questions there. Any notary questions you got, just shoot them away. Just and I will answer them and all that good stuff so that we can help you out. And you're a new channel member. Sorry you wasn't able to get back into the live that we did the other day for the members, but don't worry, we got you. We got you. So what questions do you got? Now, one thing I will say, I had a one-on-one session tonight, and another notary contacted me about loan applications. Um, I've done videos about that, but I'm gonna just say it right here. With loan applications, those don't get there's nothing in those that get notarized. Okay. There's nothing in loan applications that get notarized. The next thing is, how do I get them? You typically will get them when a company who's doing business in your area has a client that is applying for a loan. So somebody's applying for a loan. One of the main companies is Client First. They're on signature closers, SnapDocs, and signing order. So you will see orders from them to do loan applications. The ones that I see on on signing order typically run about 55 bucks. They don't take that long. And 99% of the time, you don't even have to ship them back. You just have to scan them and then upload any documentation that they need from them, like their tax returns, things of that nature. But the main way to get them is that you have to be on the signing platforms like Signing Order, SnapDocs, Signature Closers, and all of that. So you got SnapDocs, Signing Order, Signature Closers. One here. Hold on. All right. I believe this video here. Let me double check it. Probably should have double checked before. Yeah. And the video that I just posted is called Client First, not First Client. In the video that I just posted, in the description of that video is a list of different signing companies. Okay. List of different signing companies, or notary platforms. I'm sorry, it's notary platforms. Let's say signing company list, but it's actually the platforms that signing companies are on. Okay. Client First is a signing company that is on several of those platforms. Okay. So look at that video. It goes over how the flow of work is. All right. Let me get to your question real quick. Then Sharon asked the question: are you getting orders from signature closers? Yes, I am getting orders from signature closers. I see the notifications. I am not getting, for us getting the orders themselves, that's a different story. So let me do something. Let me look at my email. Signature closers. So I will say I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 today. 6 notifications today. Didn't get any of them. 6. I didn't get assigned to any of them at all. I get a lot of notifications from signature closers. A lot. For us getting assigned, that's a different story. And normally to get a signature closers order, I'm actually grabbing an order that nobody else wants because of the price of it or the distance or the time that needs to be done. If I see something weird like that, I just hit, and I get it. So if it's for like $75, $50, I'll be like, and I get it. If it's for an odd time that somebody may not want to do it, I get it. If it's at a distance that somebody don't want to travel, I get it. But if it's one of those 125, 150s around the corner, I don't get those. By the time I look, it's gone. Um, why is it so hard to get assigned? And I'm gonna come to your question in seconds. And the reason why it's hard to get assigned is because it's on a first come, first serve basis. um, that site, the moment the order comes out, whoever hits it first gets it. The other companies, the other signing companies, notary platforms, signing order, SnapDocs, those platforms, it's you're acknowledging that you are available. You're telling them I'm available to do it. You're not actually saying I accept the order. Now, most people say I accept, but you're not really saying that. You're really answering the question and say, are you available? And they say yes. And while we're talking, I'm gonna see if I can find that video because I did a video about that one time. So so that's the thing. That's why it's hard to get the orders because it's on a first come, first serve. Now our now are people doing things being slick, got little slick stuff going on, helping them to get orders instead of, over you, little bots and things of that nature? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't personally heard of it, but it would not surprise me. Here it is. Here it is. So let me hit share, copy this link. So this video shows you how this video I just put in shows you how the flow of orders come in. And one is from SnapDocs, one is from signing order. And I did some screenshots and everything to show people how it looks. So take a look at that video. So let me go back up to my lady's or question. So on loan docs, if the venue is missing on the jurat, we are supposed to add it on a separate jurat. No, you can hand write that in. You literally can hand write that in if you want. And again, so let's say if you, so I have videos, I got videos on everything. So like for me to find that video, all I did was just put in the title and then the name of my channel, Griffin Notary, and then the type, or the actual the topic and everything. So acknowledgement. All right. So this here video, brief overview of understanding acknowledgments, is a good video for you to look at. And like I said, I got tons of videos out here in all these different playlists. So all you're going to do is just, and I show stuff in there. All you're going to do is you can handwrite the venue in there. So if they don't have the venue on the actual notarial certificate that's pre-printed, you can actually handwrite it in there. Now, depending on your state laws, they may say it needs to be at the top or just above the notarial certificate, or it could be at the bottom underneath your signature. In Virginia, they don't tell us a specific location. It just says it has to be on there. So it could be on the left side, it could be on the right side, it could be at the top, at the bottom. And if anybody knows anything other than what I'm saying, feel free to correct me. Just show me where you got the information from so we can all be correct on that. But you can, add it in and you'll be good to go. So that's one of the things you can do. If push comes to shove, you can actually just go ahead on, and if push comes to shove, you can actually just replace it and just add a notarial certificate and do it that way. But there are times where you will come across a notarial certificate that does not have the venue on there, and you can just hand write it in. Unless your state says otherwise, you can just hand write it in there, and that's what I do. And then I just keep it going. And then it says I need to get back into the game. Yep, get on back into the game. And there could be a delay in the sending out of it also. That could also be the issue. Correct, they do have stamps, but a lot of times there may be a thing where the company don't want you to just stamp the document that already has it. They may want a loose certificate, a physical paper loose certificate. So you need to find out from them whether they will accept you putting a stamp on. Personally, I don't like the stamps. I don't have time to be carrying notary stamps, all of that. And a lot of time people get the little small ones, or sometimes them things are like big as a cell phone, so that you can have enough room to write the stuff in. Before going and just stamping, you may want to contact the company. And not having a jurat or an acknowledgement notary stamp works well when you're doing GNW or general notary work or non-mortgage related work. Okay. For me and many others, it's all notary work, but I'm gonna use the phrases that people have, just because that's what y'all are used to hearing. So you can use that stamp if somebody brings you a document and it doesn't. So it's like, okay, I'll stamp that. But other than that, I don't use them. I rather use the paper. That's just me. I rather use the paper, and do it that way. So that's it. What other questions you got? And then being a great notary is completely just little by little understanding your notary laws, understanding what you can and can't do as a notary, and sticking by it, even if the signing company, title company, lender is trying to get you to do something different. It's understanding your notary laws, having backup, in other words, in other words, information to support you not doing or doing something that your state law says you are supposed to do or not supposed to do. That is the hardest thing that I have to deal with, because there's so many people who just do whatever. And then when you come in and you're trying to do it the right way, and they've never heard of the right way of doing things, they just heard of the way it's been done, you can look like a very, very difficult person. You can look very, very um, confrontational to them, because a lot of people don't want to take the time out to learn what is right. They just want to get it done. And you're like, I'm gonna get it done, but I got to do it right. And they're like, we don't want right, we just want it done. And if you do it, we just don't want to get caught not doing it right. That's how some people are. And it can be difficult, and it can make you like, you know what, I don't even want to be in this business. I'm just being real with you. It's like, you know what, people acting like this is like, why? Let me do what I'm supposed to do. You do what you're supposed to do, and it will be all good. But to be a great notary, you're going to have to be able to stand on your state laws, your principles, because there is a lot of people who do things right, who want to do things right, and know to do things right. And by you doing things right, you actually separate yourself from those signing companies, title companies, lenders that are up to no good, by doing things right, because like they say, cream always rises to the top. So you got to come out here and be cream. Cash rules everything around me. Dollar dollar bill, y'all. You got to be cream so that you can rise to the top, and people will say, you know what? We need to step our game up. If we want that notary, we got to do things right. We got to follow the state laws. We gotta let the notary do what they do best. But there's some out there, if they think they can con you into doing things the way they want them, they will. They will do everything they can, because not everybody is honest. And that hurts my heart that we have that in this industry, because this is a very good industry. This is one of the best industries that I've ever worked in. Um, and it's great people, but there's so much pressure not to lose the deal, that sometimes people tend to ask you to do stuff that you really shouldn't be asked to do. People are fearful that things won't happen or go right. So they ask you to do things to be a safety net, but yet they won't go and research state law to find out if what they're asking you is legit. And even the other night, I was asked to add notarial certificates, blank, loose certificates, stamped and everything for the signers, but I've already notarized their signatures with what was already on the document. But they said, well, we just want to be cover our bases just to be on the safe side in case there's a problem. And it's like, well, what will be the problem? And they never articulated it to me, but I had some help to help me understand what they was dealing with or what that person might have viewed. And I said, okay, I get that, but I did things right in accordance with Virginia law. And that was a problem for them. So I haven't heard anything from anybody as to, hey, this was done wrong. Can you go back and redo it? So I would assume that what I did was accepted. But this is what we're dealing with. So to be a great notary, you got to be willing to sometimes stand 10 toes down when everybody else is just all willy nilly and just doing whatever the person with the deepest financial pockets say to do. That's not me. And I've lost business. I've lost a lot of business because I just say, this is what's the right thing to do, and I'm gonna do it. Because that's why you hired me as the notary to do things in accordance with my state law. To ask me not to do it, that's not right. That's not right. That is 100% not right. So yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that can go on, does go on out here in this business. And yeah, and it's sad. It's sad. So yeah, so now they have a tsunami advisory for the California coast. Um, okay, I will. It's a 9 minute long video. I'll just copy and paste that in the chat. Any other questions you got for um about the notary business or just business in general or anything? The one thing that has helped me to be successful in this business is my family relationship. My wife, my sons. When you have your spouse, your partner willing to allow you to be great at what they clearly see you have a passion for doing, that is just awesome. And I have to give my wife kudos. She's asleep right now. Actually, everybody's asleep. I'm the only one up. I'm always the last one to go to bed. Darn you, the first one to get up, but always the last one to go to bed. Without them allowing me to do what I do and supporting me and helping me to go out here and to be great at what I do, I couldn't do this here. My wife having trust in me, knowing that I'm not up this time at night, 12:09, catting around, looking at stuff I ain't supposed to be looking at, talking to whoever on the phone in the middle of the night, going out and doing closings. I had the freedom to do last minute closing or closing it. Like the other night, I did one. Where's my calendar? I did one the other night. I think I put it on there. That was Monday. There was one that came up I did on Monday. Yeah, Monday. I was home chilling and an order came in and I went out and did it. And then I come on here and I do my one-on-ones with people. I don't have to worry about her. Who that on the thing with you? Give me your phone. Give me both of your phones. Give me how much. I don't have any of that. And that gives me the freedom to be able to focus on the main thing, which is taking care of her and our sons, this whole household. That's what matters. And if you don't have your family all on the same page, do the best you can to get them on the same page If you don't have your kids disciplined, you got to get them disciplined. You got to get them to the point where you can trust them. Let's say if your child is of age where they can legally be at home by themselves, you got to have them kids in the mindset to know that you will tear their hind parts up if they go out and do something they ain't supposed to. You might have to put ring cameras all through the house so that you can keep an eye on what the heck's going on and make sure they can't turn none of them off. And then that way you can go out and do the closings that you want. Because there's times where, okay, I need to go do a closing. Something happened, and all of a sudden they say, hey, can you do a closing? TBD. We don't care. Just get it done today. We don't care if it's 10 o'clock at night, whatever. We'll pay you extra. It hurts my heart when people are not allowed to be great. It really does bother me because there are people who are pouring out so much into this business or a business, and then you constantly got folk trying to scam them with irrelevant stuff. I use Notary Assist, but either one, Notary Gadget or Notary Assist, is good to use. Either one is good to use. Women tend to lean toward Notary Gadget. I don't know why, but I think they like the color scheme because they have a lot of. I think when I first looked at them, they had a lot of different color schemes. So people like those colors and stuff. So I see a lot of young ladies go to the Notary Gadget. Both of them are good. I can't even tell you why I chose Notary Assist. Might have been because that was what I was introduced to first. But nonetheless, long as it's doing what it's supposed to do for you, help you keep track of your orders, that's all that matters. But it really hurts my heart when people aren't given the opportunity to be great. You're being asked to sit in class after class after class after class, go to conference and this and that. It's like, when can a person be a notary? When can I go out here and make some money? And with all of this here, let's gather here, let's get together there. None of these, as I call them, TMCs, trainer, mentor, coaches, and the TMMCs, trainer, mentor, marketer, and coach, because you got those marketing people that's out there doing their little thing. None of them use any of this so-called influence they have. Throat getting a little raspy. None of them use their so-called influence they have to convince the signing companies to hire you. They bombard you with, take this course, take that course. We're not going to hire you unless you take these courses. And then I hear notaries say, well, I took the courses that this one signing company said I need to take, and I still don't get no orders. The trainers aren't doing anything for us, having a conversation saying, hey, they took my training, they're good to go, I got them. Don't worry about it, I will support them. They don't do that. They got the influence, but they don't do that on our behalf. So how do you get to work if you're spending all your time sitting in class and the people you're in class with, or the instructors, they're not going and talking to these companies and saying, hey, Earl's good, you need to pick him. No, trust me, I got him. And what needs to happen is there needs to be a network, in my opinion, that if I'm a trainer, I should have the willingness to go to these different signing companies and say, hey, the people who I train, they're solid. And we provide them support. So in conjunction with you supporting them, I'm going to support them also by being available when they do their first signing. That's not happening because that's very time consuming. And personally I do that for people. But not a lot of people want to do that. So even if you do get an order, then you're stuck and you're like, okay, what do I do? No one's available to do a doc review for me. I will pay somebody to do a doc review, but I don't have any money because I done spent it all on their Facebook group and this, that, and the other. So people are like, I'm stuck and I want to do it, but I'm afraid because I really don't know what I'm doing with regards to being a notary. And then when I call and ask people, they won't help me. And a lot of people, they're stuck. And then when they get into groups and ask questions, they get ridiculed for not knowing. And that's why I say it hurts my heart because people aren't given an opportunity to be great. If you just take the time out to help them instead of trying to upsell them. Anybody out here who has a course or some kind of mentor program, a coach program, a marketing program, you're either going to help them or upsell them. And most people tend to say, I'll help you, but they're really upselling you. I can help you for a higher fee. And they're just unwilling to help you. Well, my time is valuable. To me, if your time was really valuable, you would be able to teach somebody in such a way that they don't have to keep calling on you for help. Because that's more time consuming that I taught you everything you need to know, but you keep coming back to me about what you need to know. And apparently, I must not have done a good enough job teaching you because you keep asking me for help in areas that I've already helped you on. Now, it's different if you have somebody who just not paying attention, whatever. But for a lot of people, they're just, they're not being really taught. They're not learning anything. They see information, they hear statements, but they're not actually being taught. They're not learning how to be a great notary. That's all we do on this channel is to help you to be a great notary. And I say y'all, I mean us, and it's just me and everything. So mm, 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 mm. Other than that, I hope everybody's good to go. I'm gonna go on and hop off and do my doc prep and get me some sleep. And okay, so 1 hour ago, sirens have gone off in Hawaii. Let me put this in here. Any other questions or concerns before we bounce up out of here about anything? Any other questions or concerns, thoughts? As they say in church, looks like all hearts and minds are clear. We're going to have Deacon take us out. One of my favorite deacons, he's passed away now, Deacon McDowell. I'm here, lady. Go for it. Never heard of that doc. Let's see. Halycon. Never. Yeah. What's the right spelling on that document? Yeah. Find it so I can. Good. Take your time, lady. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see what's going on here. They're saying also a tsunami warning for Hawaii. I mean, I'm tired. I know I'm tired. Yeah, Hawaii, and I'm sorry. I was thinking Guam, also for Guam. That's what I was trying to say. Mm-mm-mm. Turn my closed captions on. Yeah, they having a fit over this here because they said they haven't had a. Now they calling it an 8.8. First it was 8.7. Now they saying, hold on, let me. They were saying it was an 8.7. Now they calling it 8.8. All right, let me look up that. Um, called the 8821 form. Are you talking about this? If you're talking about this, there's really nothing to explain because this would more than likely already be filled out by them. And if it is, then all they need to do is just sign, date, and print their name. There's nothing for us to explain to them. I know a lot of people want to explain forms and share stuff about the forms, but my take has always been if it's above the signature line, there's nothing for me to say. If this form is already filled out, and I see this form from time to time, not a whole lot, I just make sure they sign and date it, print their name. There's no need to do a title because the title is typically in case somebody is doing it on behalf of the person who this is for. But since that's not the case, signature date, print name. That's it. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, what is there to explain? Taxpayer information, their identify number, cell phone number, address. You have to search in Google. I mean, all of this is CFA and all that else, CAF. I mean, what is there really to explain? There's nothing really to try to articulate because this will be all more than likely already centralized authorization fund. Okay, that's what that CAF means. Yeah, that's all I would do. That's all I would do. Just yeah, Form 8821. Okay. Well, okay. Here's how you figure that out. I got you on that one, girl. I got you. So y'all know how I like to do it. DeepSeek.com AI tool. All right, DeepSeek.com. What is the difference between both of them are RS form, RS forms 8, 8821 and the W9. This is how you find out. You just ask it. You just ask it. So okay, so 88 tax information authorization. says right here the purpose. Oops, let me zoom in a little bit. Right here it says the purpose allows a third party to access your tax records from the IRS. W-9 used to collect taxpayers' identifying information for reporting income to the IRS. In short, that's it. I mean, to find out what these forms mean, this is all you got to do. Chat GTP. I use DeepSeek, and that's it. That's it. What is the purpose of such and such form? That's it. What is the purpose of the IRS form 4506C and 4506T? That's all you got to do. I did a video about this. I did a video about using AI to figure out and understand the forms. That's all you have to do. None of us should be sitting around scratching our head trying to figure out what does this form mean. You have tools here to be able to do that. We have tools. You have to use them. If we don't, right, that company is the one that uses that form. Right. So that's it. And that didn't cost you any money. You shouldn't have to pay people to be this kind. There's some things you just don't need to be paying these folks to do. You don't really, you can figure this out yourself. I mean, the tools are there. Now, whether a person wants to do it or not, that's a different story. That is a completely different story. But if you are okay with doing it, that means you've learned something. And a lot of time people is like, well, I just want to ask somebody else. They just want to put it on. And not saying that was your thing. I know it wasn't. But there are some people that's like, well, I'm going to ask so-and-so. I'm like, well, you can use Chat GTP. Oh, no, I don't trust that. So you trust some random guy that you've seen a few times on YouTube to tell you the truth. Well, he seems trustworthy. Okay, gotcha. But it doesn't hurt to use AI tools. It really, really, really doesn't. It really doesn't. Where is it? So I got these two videos. How AI helps summarize loan documents. Now I don't summarize loan documents, but if you wanted to see examples of that, let me just drop this video in there. Boom. How to use AI to answer notary questions that your trainer will not answer. And I don't know why only 400 people have looked at that video. Both of those videos, it should be a couple of thousand because everybody always talking about AI and my trainer won't answer no questions for me and I don't know what's going on. And I'm sitting here like, here's how you can get an answer. Now I want somebody to answer it for me. So those two videos will show you how to use AI tools to get the answers that you need. And I'm not saying they're all encompassing. A lot of the questions, a lot of the stuff you ask is can be basically for informational purpose only. It's not legal advice, but it's at least a start and a better way to save you some money. Especially when that's all those TMCs are doing anyway, going to Chat GTP and Googling your question and then kicking back an answer. It is. All right, y'all. I'm out. I have no question. So I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Keep those folk in prayer. I'm going to try to go to sleep. Hopefully, when I wake up in the morning, There won't be anything tragic going on. Um, but let's be there for each other. Let's truly be there for each other, and all that. All right. Talk to y'all later. Peace.